Hi, today I'm going to make an experiment that is called how can we keep for a long time a fresh flower. Our objective in this video is to analyze how different substances dissolved in water influence the preservation of cut flowers related to the result to the process of the water transport and metabolism. My hypothesis in this video is to see if the flowers survive more longer with water with sugar, but because we need to remember that sugar provides energy to cells. But before to start, we're going to need these materials. First, I'm going to need 3 identical flowers, 3 transparent cups or jars, but I'm going to use plastic cups, water, sugar, white vinegar, scissors, marker, ruler, laboratory notebook, also a cell phone to record the video. Now we're going to label each container. A will be for water, B will be for water with sugar, and C will be water with white vinegar. Now we're going to fill each container with the same amount of water. But the difference is that the container B will have a teaspoon of sugar and the container C will have a teaspoon of vinegar. With the flowers, we're going to cut the stem diagonally 2 or 3 centimeters. Remove any leaf that will be submerged in the water. We're going to make the same process with the other ones. After doing that, place 1 flower in each container. Before to continue, we need to know that we have 3 types of variables. Independent variable, that is the substance added to the water. The second one is dependent variable, that is the flower because depend of the water. And for last, controlled variables. The most important are same type of flower, same amount of water, and same location. Now I'm going to explain you what happened with each flower in a table. At 1 p.m. in all the containers, the flower was fresh. At 2:37 p.m. the container A, the flowers start closing and the petals were beginning to wilt, but only slightly, and it had the same amount of water. The container B, the flower is still open, but the tips of the petals are starting to wilt, and it has the same amount of water. The container C, the flower starts to drop and is wilting a little, and it has the same amount of water. At 3:32 p.m., the container A, the flower was almost closed. The tips of the petals looked a little wilted, and the water level had decreased slightly. The flower of the container B began to close and wither a little more, and the water decreased slightly. The flower of the container C began to close and wither more. The water decreased a little bit. At 4:35 p.m., the flower of the container A had already closed completely and the wilting was more visible. The water level did not decrease. The flower of the container B was almost closed and started wilting more. The water decreased a little bit. The flower of the container C had already closed completely and the withering was more visible. The water level decreased a little bit. At 6:27 p.m., all the flowers had already died. Now let's answer 3 questions. Which treatment keep the flour fresh for longest time? The treatment that kept for longest time the flour was the water with sugar. How is this related to water transport in plants? This experiment is related to water transport in plants because flowers stay fresh when they absorb water through their stem. Was the hypothesis confirmed or rejected? My hypothesis was correct, as I say, the sugar gives energy to the cell.